Hello class, my name is Jason Wallace Coons, and the problem I will be presenting to you today is improper diets for cats and dogs. Most cats and dogs live their entire lives off of one unchanging source of food, which would be kibble. People assume that because their pets don't die from acute starvation, that the single dark pellet that they are being fed day in and day out is somehow properly nourishing them completely. The general public has somehow been brainwashed into believing that this superfood of grainy pellet that we feed our pets somehow contains enough fat, fiber, protein, and minerals to properly stimulate and sustain proper physical and mental growth in our carnivore pets. The research behind this problem has been very much one-sided in favor of the pet food industry, unfortunately. The general interest and research done in favor of raw food diets is minimal at best. Until more research is done, the only reliable source of information regarding our pets is their genetic makeup. It is widely agreed upon that wolves and dogs are the same species of animal, as they are both subspecies of the Canis lupus. Both can mate with each other and produce fertile offspring, meaning the offspring is capable of reproducing later in life as well. The fact that these animals can produce fertile offspring is proof alone of their genetic similarity. Excuse me. That's proof alone of their genetic similarity. Aside from that, cats and dogs, just like their wild counterparts and ancestors, they both have sharp teeth and jaws that move up and down, which is a trait commonly found, actually exclusively found, in carnivores. Unlike animals such as cows and deer, who have an unbelievable wide range of lateral motion in their jaw, which allows them to chew, our cats and dogs are clearly carnivores, and our pets are clearly carnivores, and the grainy pellet we feed them is clearly not meat. The solution presented to you is this. Our pets should be eating a high moisture, protein-rich diet that also contains a small amount of fats and fiber, which can be found in fruits and vegetables. I'd like to begin this argument by saying that the general public should not take their pets' nutrition into their own hands. Most people don't even take their own health properly. Take care of their own health properly. Jeez. I suggest switching your pet to a holistic veterinarian who has had experience with raw food diets before actually switching them to a raw food diet. This can help prevent your pet from getting sick, basically, because if they were just eating kibble before and you immediately switch them to a raw food diet, they're going to get sick. This is the reason many people don't switch their pets to raw food diets, because they attribute this sickness from immediately switching their source of food to the raw food rather than switching that quickly. I'd suggest switching your pet to a holistic veterinarian who has experience with raw food. Shit, I said all this. As caring parents and caretakers of our pets, if we think alongside a caring medical professional, we can easily give our pets the happiest lives possible. That's it. Thank you for your time. At this point, I'd like to open up the floor to the audience to see if there's any questions you guys have that I might be able to answer. As a matter of fact, dude, I do have a question for you. How do you know that the kibble doesn't actually have all the proper nutrients that raw food does? Well, sir, that's a great question, as a matter of fact. I'd be a liar if I said there was no nutritional value whatsoever to raw food, or to dog food, basically. In fact, on the bags themselves, there's nutritional facts. Now, it's not like how it is on human food. It's not this big white box, mostly because I feel like they're trying to hide the nutritional facts, because if you actually look on the bag, it's mixed in with most of the text. And when you read the actual label, it kind of makes you wonder what it is you're putting in your dog. Like, the very first thing I've seen on a dog food bag is crude protein. Now, that made me question what that even is, because if it was just regular protein, why wouldn't you just call it regular protein? Do you know what I'm saying? And I did some research, and crude protein, in fact, is a mixture of thrown away meats, not necessarily bad meat, but it's leftovers basically from the food industry. I mean, yeah, it's certainly disgusting, but like, just because it's crude protein doesn't mean it's not protein. Like, they're still getting their healthy amount of proteins, right? Unfortunately, sir, in the high heating process that they use to make the pellets dark, a lot of the nutritional value is actually lost. They replace it with synthetic something or others and flavor enhancers to make it taste better to the animal, and that just causes problems for their nutrition, I guess. Unfortunately, I'm personally not the best resource to use. You could definitely do the research on your own if you feel like it, or, as I said, you could go to a holistic veterinarian who is trained to give your pets a better quality of life, and they will agree with everything, most of the things I've said. Are there any other questions? Yeah, man, I got a question over here. How do I know what to feed my dog, man? Like, he's old as fuck, and I feel bad for not feeding him properly for his entire life, you know? Once again, sir, I recommend going to a holistic veterinarian to get a proper meal plan going for your pet. But personally, I'd stick away from feeding your older dog raw foods, because his immune system could be compromised just because of his age. Personally, you could cook the food as less nutrient rich for your pet than raw food would be, but it's still better than just kibble, you know what I mean? Like, and because it's cooked, the bacteria levels will certainly go down.